Friends, today in this video, let me just quickly show you how to use this getDate function in SQL Server. So what we'll do as part of this video tutorial, we are going to see the syntax and with some demo as some examples in SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. Now, before moving to that, if you are a very new to SQL Server, just to give you an overview, getDate function returns the current timestamp, that is date and time value of the system on which the SQL Server instance is running. Right? It will retrieve you basically the current date and time value. Okay. In other words, this function also retrieves the in other words, these functions retrieves the date and time value of the operating system where your SQL server is installed. Okay. Now, when we will see some demo, we will come to know, we will have a clear picture on this. Okay. And if you'll see the syntax, it is get date within, it is just get date and then the bracket starts and ends, right? This is the syntax of this getDate function. This is the function which doesn't require any parameter inside this bracket, right? So you can use this getDate even as a default value for a column in a table. Okay, all these things we will see as part of this video tutorial. Okay, so what I'll do, I will just navigate to my SQL Server Management Studio where we will see how we can use this command with certain examples. Okay, let me go there. So now you can able to see I have already logged into my SQL Server Management Studio and I have certain database. You can able to see it here, right? So out of that, I have a database called test where we will perform these operations. We will execute these queries. Okay, now I'll click on the new query. You can able to see the database selected here is test. Now what you can do, you can just specify a query saying that select date. I'm sorry, select get date, right? So this is the function. I will use the bracket and then as date time, we can just specify date time, right? So, or I can say current date time, right? So if I will execute this query, you can able to see this is the date 2025 323 and this part is the time. So basically it will get you the current date time where your SQL server is running or in the operating system where the SQL server instance is running, right? So basically it will provide you the current date and time, right? So you can able to see here it is two part. So one is the date and the other part is the time. So current date time both it is providing us, right? So this way you can use the basic syntax. This is the basic syntax to use the get date function, right? So if I will not mention this current date time, it will just give me the date and time with no column name, right? So basically we are providing the column name in that way, right? Now, as a other example, we will see how we can use get that function inside a table as a default value of a column, right? So what I'll do, I have already written some queries because if I'll start writing here, it will take lots of time. So I have written those queries in the notepad. Let me go there and copy it. Okay, so what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create a table, guys. You can able to see create table employee. I have already a employee table, so it is giving me a error. I will say employee new. Okay. And then here employee ID is one column which is integer type and name is worker to 55 character, right? So this is the worker type column and then the join date is date time and default this is your get date. Here we are using the get date function, right? So this is the complete script to create that table. Let us create the table first. I will execute this. You can able to see command completed successfully. If I'll go to the test tables and if I'll go here, I will just you, I will just refresh this once. We'll expand the table node. You can able to see this is the employee new table which contains these columns, right? Employee ID, name, and join date. Okay. Now what I'll do, I will insert few records here. We will see how this get date is behaving, right? So I have also written those commands here. I need to modify the table name as we have modified new, right? And then I will copy these two insert statement and I will paste it here. You can able to see what you are trying to tell is we are trying to insert two records, right? For employee ID, it is 003 and the name value is Raz. And then for employee ID again 004 and name is Smith, right? So two records we are trying to, insert, but for get date it will by default it will insert that value from get date function, right, for date time. So that is the join date, right? So that for that join date column, we are not providing any explicit value. What we are trying to tell is we are telling that you by default you generate from this get date function that value you insert it as the third record, right? Third column value. So if I'll execute both of these record, you're able to see two rows are affected successfully. Now what I'll do, I will go here, I will run a select query, select star from employee new, right? You can able to see this is the employee new table, right? I will execute this. You can able to see that we have inserted value from employee ID and employee name Rasmi 34 and join date. You can able to see it took by default the from this get date function, that is the current date and time value, right? The get date function for this join date. So this way you can use your uh, this way you can use get date function inside a table as the default value for a particular column, right? So this is all about how you can use get date function in SQL Server. So that's it for today, guys. I thought to quickly show you how to use get date function in SQL Server, and these are the syntax or SQL command you can utilize to use the get date function in your SQL Server operation, right? So thanks a lot for watching this video. If you found this video a little bit helpful for you, kindly subscribe to our channel to support us so that you will get lots of free SQL Server tips, different Azure tips, helpful Azure PowerShell commands, Azure CLI commands, and many more. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a nice day. Bye bye.